Hey, good evening, family. Welcome to the fellowship live, dinner live. Thanks for coming. Oh, the sisters up in the queens up in the piece. I see. Brother Kels, thanks for coming. We're gonna wait for some more people to come in. Um, very much appreciated. Come. I did some basic tonight, but it's a little different. It's definitely it's definitely basic. And you might laugh at it, but I don't care. Sometimes I'm not in the creative move, and that's one of those things. But the process still gonna go on. We're gonna talk about things, so don't worry about that. No dessert tonight, and everything. So we'll take a break at that. Let everybody come. Wait for some more people to come in. Um, that was an excellent live that She Stay Sleep was talking about, and us men, us as men, got to get it together. If that woman ain't the one for you, leave. That's why I always advocate for yourself. That's very important. Because a strong black woman wants a strong black man. Understand that's all about responsibility. After Cedric Autonomy, thanks for coming. How you doing? And that's what it's all about. And a lockhead boss lady, she doing a live right now. Said deadbeat dads. What about deadbeat moms? Mm. You know, so, but see, that was an excellent live we did. Also, I did two lives yesterday. I did one about Blacklist, and I did one, the next one about the late great Hazel Dorothy Scott, a jazz pianist, singer, actress, civil rights, down civil rights. Brother Rob, educating our community. Welcome. Now, don't worry about it. Don't worry. You came on time. Don't worry about it. Wait for some more people to come in. Like I said, this is basic tonight. Um, but I put my little twist on it. Y'all see that in a few minutes. But like I said, I want y'all to check those out. Get them likes and views up. Drop a comment. Drop a comment or two. That's very much appreciated. King Wade, thanks for coming. Haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for coming. Y'all gonna laugh when what I got. Y'all gonna laugh. Wait some more people to come in. Thanks for y'all to come. Appreciate that. Hope everybody weekend had went well. I know back to work tomorrow, wherever the endeavors that y'all gonna get in. Or just want people to come in. Queen, who I am. Thanks for coming. Appreciate that. Few more minutes. Positive moment too. Thanks for coming. Appreciate that. A few minutes for showing my food. Then go get people in the panel. No, you did not. I didn't show it yet, Queen, who I am. You good. I'm waiting for some more people to come in. I didn't show it yet. Like I say, for it's basic or reliable. What's going on? Thanks for coming. They ain't showing it yet. Can't wait yet. To wait. Waiting for some more people to come in. Let's get them lights up. Thank you. Appreciate that. Not yet, Afrocentric. Not yet. Uncle Ruckus. Nah, ain't no donate no campaign in this piece. You want to donate? Donate to me. You think he's slick, Uncle Ruckus? I know who you was following. Think you slick? Thank you, Porter Cows. Thank you. Appreciate that. Key Hebrew. Thanks for showing up. Oh, you made lasagna? Oh, you ain't right. Second glass. Well, here it is, family. Oh, I ain't turning it. I ain't turning it on. I'm gonna turn it on. Then after that, I'm gonna start adding brother Rob the educator. Watch out for your link. Poetic Kels, watch out for your link. Atomic Cabin, watch out for your link. Good old cheeseburgers. It's cheeseburgers. Cup. Keep it ghetto tonight for the Chinese restaurant. And this is Tang. This is Tang drink. Then when I put on the burgers is this Heinz barbecue sauce, Kentucky bourbon, rich in Savia. Told y'all it's gonna be at times that I'm not going Brother Rod, watch out for your link. Or the cows, watch out for your link. And Afrocentric, you watch out for your link. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Watch out for your link. All right. Now I'm get Afrocentric. And
Hi, JT.
what's going on? How you doing?
Okay, let me see.
Afrocentric, get ready to send it to you right now. Watch out for it. How you feel on part of the couch? How you doing? Part of the couch. Okay. Raining Woodbine. Thanks for coming.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. All right, people. Let me get. I ain't even asking the ones, right? I sure didn't. That's all right. I'm gonna show my. You see my food, quarter cows? I don't know, Rob. I'm still thinking. I'm trying to get. Watch out for your link, brother. I got. Ooh, but I got stuff on my mind too. Oh,
Can you
Pornell,
hear
there's two
me?
of you. There's two of you up there.
I know I'm switching phones because I was saying hello on the other phone, but you
Mhm.
wasn't. I don't know if you can hear me.
I hear you now.
I'm sorry. I'm about to hang. Okay, I'm hanging up the other phone.
All right. Watch out for your link, brother Rob. Big Dolomite. What up? What up? How you feel? Thanks for coming. Haven't seen you in a while. Glad to see you again. Kiana Scott Bay. Good evening to you, sis. I see. If you want to join the panel, let me know. Okay. Okay. All right. Hold on, Loso, cause I'm gonna try my best trying to get Brother Rob on this piece, cause I don't know what lately. You know what I mean? Brother Rob, watch out for your link. Okay. No problem. No problem. I see. Hope you get better, brother. Miss Miss Danielle, how you feel? Thanks for coming. Very much appreciated. Okay, hold on, Afro Central. Hold on. I'm gonna send you the link right now. Mhm. Here it is, Afro Central. Seeing the link right now. All right, brother. Now I'm working on you. You should be getting it any second now. Oh yeah, people. Porter Kells was on Chosen Queen panel about an hour ago. It was very powerful. Check it out. Tell them more about it, Porter Kells. All right, brother Rob, sending it out. Porter Kells.
Yes.
All right. I I mentioned that you was on Chosen Queen panel.
Oh, you see me on Chosen Queen's panel. It was a very beautiful panel. She just
Yeah,
we were just talking, and she was giving me shout outs. She read us these
okay. Brandon Woodbine, thanks for coming. Oh damn, brother Rob. I told you I'd get brother Rob on. I'm gonna get brother Rob on. I don't quit, brother Rob. You know me.
Yes, sir. What's happening, good brother? How you feeling tonight, man?
I'm like, but I'll be all right.
Yeah, yeah. Like my wifey family, they from Louisiana, right? They say
Mhm.
come see, come saw. You know, you a little bit of this, you're a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Over the course of the last couple of weeks, you know, I've been listening to the conversation of our recent bills, and I would say that we are uh, kind of bumping around the same topic at all. You know what I'm saying? It might be uh, from a different angle, but it's all the same conversation. You know what I'm saying? And that conversation is our perspective on the or the way we should be looking at a certain situation for our benefit. You know what I mean? So to try to explain a little bit better what I'm saying, um, um, we could point to Kanye going to meet with President Trump or Orange 45 as you refer to him, right? Um, you know, people were embarrassed and was saying all of these things about Kanye. He a mental patient and blah 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 this, blah 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 that, right? But then
Mhm.
if you really listen to what he was saying, right, and the things that he was asking Trump to take a look at, right? You know, I don't agree with all of the points, but if I had a short period of time and all of these thoughts flowing through my mind, when I'm meeting with the president, I can see myself getting a little jumbled up too in thought and in speech. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we are judging each other a little too harshly and not putting the focus on our open enemy, the person that refuses us justice, the person that underfunds our schools, the person that underfunds the medical institutions around your home. You know, the purpose, the people that historically have been against our people. We don't even, you know, bring them up in these conversations. You know what I mean? But we always harping on how men and women don't get along and how what's wrong with black men, what's wrong with black women, when really, you know, uh, man, to me, I feel like we got everything we need. You know what I'm saying? To me, you know what I'm saying? This is the fact. You know what I'm saying? This is the most educated generation of Africans living in the Western Hemisphere the world has ever seen. We got more bachelors, masters, and PhDs ever. We got more money than we've ever had, right? So what's our problem? You know what I'm saying? I would say it's perspective. It's our inability to have that true love for one another. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna end on this, right? See, people be saying like, we love each other, and really you like that person. You know what I'm saying? You might like the way a person speak. You might like the way they do research, right? But when you love somebody, right? When you love somebody, it's a in spite of thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't you know what I'm saying, me and Chief Holiday, we probably don't agree on anything, right? We probably don't agree on anything. But that man is still my brother. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And I gotta find a way, in spite of his, heresy on who is African and who is indigenous. That's a whole nother conversation, right? I feel like it's heresy, right? But I gotta find a way to love that brother in spite of. Do you see what I mean? Love is a in spite of thing. It's not something that you look at somebody and say, "Oh, I like that about them. I like that," and then that might attract you initially, right? But love is a in spite of thing. In spite of your faults, in spite of your flaws, I still love you. That's love. That's when the rubber meet the road. You know what I mean? So I just feel like maybe our perspective is off, you know, and we just need to look deeper into our own uh perceptions of reality, and what's best, what would benefit us the most, you know.
Mhm. Afro sis, why she dropped off? Well, I'll put it back. All right, Puerto Cows, I'm gonna get you back on, sis.
Yes.
What you think? What brother Robert, good brother Robert's talking about? What he just saying?
No, I kind of heard him partially, but I'm having like problems. It was like really robotic.
Okay. Well, okay, I'll take over here. Then after that, after that, give me 6 1s, family. You want to see the food? Give me 6 1s. Thank you. But for me, I get what you're saying, but I really do. Only I could just talk for me is that whatever it is, I try to learn from it and build on it. Like the two live streams. I mean, with the two live streams that I did yesterday was about Blacklist and the late great jazz pianist and jazz pianist singer. Also, she was part of the civil rights movement. Is the late great Hazel Dorothy Scott. She married to the late great. Oh man, it slipped my mind. It slipped my mind. It come to my mind. But Adam Clayton Powell. Here you go. And what I learned from her that no matter what happens throughout, she was only married to him for 15 years from 1945 to 1960. She carved her own way. She deal with the injustice in Texas, and she's one of my heroes. One of people they call she one of my heroes, and I was very amped on that. So also she was part of the blacklist too, that they called it people communists because they did not agree to the conditions of America at that time, and so I know exactly what you're talking about. I get what you're saying. Yes, like each of us have our own perspective, but there are some perspectives that we got to move on. You know, so sometimes I have to sometimes when I create things, I have to really think what climate and when I'm in, and I have to understand okay, let that go. Then I'm gonna present this to help our people, and there are some people that's not going to be on the code that wants to be on code, and there's some they not. And but I understand what you're saying. So what you think what I said?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at times I do agree. We need to be critical of some of the movements that might be detrimental to our success. You know, I agree. We should be critical of that. If somebody in the community and they got somebody, they got a large following behind them, and they talking something that we feel might be detrimental, right? Uh, uh, you know, of course, we gonna call that into question, and then um, you know, the conversation, right? Just like how we try to end on a positive note every Sunday, right? You know, think about if that was spread it in a concentrated effort, you know, across Black YouTube, everybody talking about, you know what I'm saying, okay, y'all, we gonna all register to vote. You know what I'm saying? Registering to vote or actually voting, right? Again, right? When I say perspective, right? How do you think we gonna get on a jury if we don't go register to vote or go and vote? You know what I'm saying? Even if we come to believe that this whole process is a farce, right?
Mm-hmm.
We still won't be able to be called to a jury to deliver justice to our brothers and sisters that we know are caught in this system. We know they caught in this system, and because we won't go register to vote, we'll never get on a jury. Do you see what I mean? So this is a benefit, you know, to us in the legal system. But because some voices are saying we shouldn't do it, we take that ability away. Registering to vote, if I show up at a politician office and say, I have 20,000 registered voters instead
Mm-hmm.
of 20,000 people that's concerned about their community, right? If I show up and say I got 20,000 registered voters, the threat of 20,000 registered voters is greater than 20,000 concerned community members. That's those are the facts. You know what I mean? It got to be some money added into this game. This is like I done said in the past, and I'll continue to say, we have a very complex problem, and we've had some very astute master teachers kind of give us a roadmap in terms of what we should be doing next, but we find a way to, you know, put them down or discredit them or point out where they were wrong at, as opposed to looking at the wisdom. You know what I mean? Eat the meat and spit out the bone, so to speak. You know, and these are the things I feel like we should be focused on perspective wise. It's always good for commentary. You know what I'm saying? It's always time for that, right? But in terms of, like, you know what I'm saying, in terms of movement, social mobility, right? Our people, we definitely need to look at more serious issues. You know, I'm gonna be doing a series of bills on perspective. You know what I'm saying? I got something I'm gonna dedicate to the sisters. You know what I mean? Yeah, it ain't to knock dudes that might have a problem with the way women treat them and all that. That ain't no knock on them. It's just me celebrating Black women. You know what I'm saying? And so, and it's for perspective. You know what I'm saying? To give the conversation balance. And all of their flaws, they are still our counterpart. They still are a alike. You know what I'm saying? They still are our woman. And
Well,
we gotta consider that precious. You know what I'm
well,
saying?
I only have to say for me that what I do, I always make sure that I talk about the Black woman positively, and that's all JT could do. You know, I cannot worry about what other people do. But long as I know in my heart that I'm doing the right thing, and I know people, and I know that the ones who come stay with me like you, Rob, I can see you family, and and the rest of the others, that's what counts to me. You know, that's all I'm gonna do. You know, I'm gonna be consistent. You know, wherever the truth is, I'm gonna call it out. Wherever nonsense, I'm gonna call it out and everything. You absolutely right. And you know, so for me, I can't, you know, because people gonna be people. You know what I'm saying? What blazing in sports? What's good? And and whatever you bring, we're gonna support it. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I got some more stuff. You know, um,
Man, I wanted to build on that jazz history you had brung up, man. Um, if we was able to tell our story, right, in terms of jazz history, man, it would be such a powerful story, right? People don't know about Fats Waller, right? This is a man who created Strata, right? That dum 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 dum. Fats Waller created it. He created he created Strata, which ended up being the music that we sampled for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Then if you fast forward 20 some odd years later, then you got Charlie Parker, Bird, right? Why is
one,
Charlie why is Charlie Parker so significant to jazz history? I'm gonna end off on this, right? You know how like jazz go burner and it's kind of slow and everybody can follow, right? And then all of a sudden jazz go Charlie Parker sped the music up and made it all improvisational so that white artists wouldn't be able to keep up. You know what I'm saying? So they would show up to the sets with no sheet music and they would just improv and vibe. You know what I'm saying? And so the music from the 30s all the way up to damn near John Coltrane age, right? You know what I'm saying? All of that is they show up, they might have some sheet music, but that's just for the basics, for the for the foundation of the song, right? But you can hear it on Blue Moon how the trombone player fall off. You know what I'm saying? You can hear it. You know what I'm saying? And these dudes is the best of the best of the best. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So jazz history, if you look at it, it's a revolutionary music. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
They wanted to end the big band era, and so that's why Charlie Parker, to me, is probably the most revolutionary musician ever in the history of the world. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And at the same time too, that a lot of people don't understand it. Everybody want to talk about this person correct, you know, create bebop. Charlie Parker created bebop. He was a center of bebop. He created play different saxophones, sing like it's singing, and it goes well. And so he was ahead of his time of doing this type of music that is other people had done it, but it's nothing like the Birdman. Ain't nothing like Charlie Parker. I remember when my father was living, um he was to hear sounds like Billie Holiday, Lester Young, Diana Washington, um, Dizzy Gillespie, Miles Davis, Steve Getson, all that, you know. And then that's when I had a great appreciation of jazz when I was very very young, and it was like for me, it's like music. It's like I like long. I like orchestration. I like each I like each person that have their own solo. I like the I like that. You know what I mean? And that that's the beautiful thing about it. But now we're gonna welcome the sugar himself, Curtis Sugar. Welcome to the panel.
Welcome, Underrated and chat and panel. What's going on this beautiful Sunday evening? Just listen to you guys and jazz. I just came in. I didn't know what you was talking about, but I'm passionate about boxing, but I'm also passionate about music. I don't know which one I love more. All forms of music, hip hop, R&B, soul, the classics, of course, rock, jazz. My favorite jazz artist is John Coltrane. I listen to A Man Called Train or A Love Supreme, some of the best work, and that's saying a lot. When you talk about this beautiful music we call jazz, you got Miles Davis, Bitches Brew is a classic. Miles Davis, Kind of Blue is a
Right.
masterpiece. Wes Montgomery,
No.
Dave Brubeck. We have a channel
Big Five.
uh, in Newark, New
Thelonious.
Jersey called WBGO. It's a
Okay.
jazz station.
My fault, dog. Can't forget Monk though.
Oh
Oh, you know,
yeah. Thelonious Monk.
yeah, Queen Who I Am,
I,
she said on this month. Oh, yeah. And she also
Thelonious
said
Monk.
too.
Yeah. Because the R&B singer, I think that's his uncle, T.S. Monk.
It
That's
is.
Thelonious Monk nephew or something. But you know, uh, Charlie Bird Parker, of course. It's so many greats. You listen to the albums, man. It takes you. It's like you zone out if you're a jazz fan or jazz historian. Because jazz music is a underappreciated genre of music. It's an acquired taste, and I listen to Coltrane a lot.
Uh-huh.
And we sit here and we don't appreciate this music, and other people try to take it from us. That's the history of our people, and it's no different with music. And I love white artists too, but black artists, such are the names aforementioned that I mentioned earlier. You know, they're legends, man, and we don't appreciate them like we supposed to. We don't. I mean, how many jazz stations do we have? WBGO is a very good jazz station. If you out the New York and New Jersey region, you can get the station on TuneIn Radio, and you see what I mean. On their birthdays, they will have Charlie Bird Parker's marathon, and it's wonderful, man. So I'll just keep it like that.
Yeah. All right. Welcome, Loso.
You already know. I just been in and out, so I really haven't been able to catch everybody. But I want to say one time to my brother, Rob, brother, God bless you. God bless the other brother. You know what I'm saying? God bless you, JT. God bless everybody on the panel. God bless everybody on the chat. And God bless Kels and all my sisters and queens and also brothers and kings. God bless.
No doubt. I know for me that I think it was one person that caught my eye um of the jazz thing for me. Of the jazz for me, it's like and I did a story on it too. With
Okay.
I did a story. Now not that what his name? Ramsey Lewis.
Okay, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Ramsey Lewis is very underrated in jazz. Ramsey Lewis, he the one
Nah.
um
Smoke.
he the one wrote the Peanut sound. I'm talking about the cartoon. He composed that.
What happened?
That a lot of people don't give him credit for that. Then you got Quincy Jones. He came when he come from jazz. When he did the soundtrack of Ironside back in '64, he was the first person that had synthesizers in jazz back then.
You're absolutely right, and I agree. Just like BB King, I don't think BB King in blues gets the respect that he deserves either.
No, he don't. Of course he don't. No, he don't because these are person. When I'm talking, these are people I'm talking about. These are prisons that fuse with jazz,
Exactly.
blues, all that, everything. Even like you got the late great Sarah Vaughan.
Mm-hmm.
that people say that when she sings, she'll be making other music sing with her.
Okay, gotcha.
And so matter of fact, I did a story about them too a while back. So trust me, the doctors know a little something, something. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I know a little something, something. And I had a greater appreciation for jazz. I had a great appreciation of the brothers and sisters had laid the foundation. That if you look at it too, that if you listen like Barry White,
Mm-hmm. God
if
bless
you
his soul, by the way.
God bless so also I'm sorry, the late great Barry White, also the late great Isaac Hayes. If you know at all, certain parts of Philadelphia International, or certain parts of Motown. Now
That's right.
people say what do they have in common is jazz fusion. But at the same time, that's when you start having R&B start coming up. We totally forgot about the late great
Curtis Mayfield.
no, I was gonna say Curtis Mayfield, but
Don't forget Marvin Gaye. Don't forget Marvin Gaye and Trouble Man.
Marvin Gaye,
Exactly. That's right. Marvin Gaye too. That's right.
great
Let me
thought.
The
let me
Trouble
hop
Man
in.
soundtrack is a masterpiece.
Let me
Oh
hop
yeah,
in here though. Let me
yeah.
hop in here though. Listen, right? In truth, right? Curtis Mayfield influence gets overlooked. Um,
Mm,
he is the one that kind of fused R&B and jazz together. Curtis Mayfield was classically trained, played jazz, made
Mm-hmm.
wrote jazz, and then also blended over to R&B. You know what I'm saying?
Brother Rob, where he from? Tell him, cause I know
Oh,
where he at. Tell him where
Curtis
he from.
Mayfield is from the low end Chicago, baby. What
There you go. I want you to say it again, Brother Robbie, because
Yes,
cause
sir.
see, you know,
Yes, sir. From the low end. From the low end, they call it Bronzeville now. You know what I'm saying? He's from
mhm,
Chicago.
right?
But uh,
That's right.
another
And you
guy.
know, Curtis Mayfield was born June 3rd. I was born June 4th.
Oh wow, wow, wow.
hey, hey, what's up, mama?
My uh my youngest son and Curtis Mayfield share a birthday.
Cause she hyping.
Um,
She is one hyper.
another person that gets overlooked also. His
No
name
man telling her. Yeah. Come on.
yeah.
Come on. Hey, come on. Stop.
Go for mute your mic. Mute your mic.
Oh, you talking to me, sir? I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah, just all right.
Yeah,
Okay.
another brother that gets overlooked.
Brother Rob, take over for me for like 5 minutes, man, because I got to do something real quick.
Okay, just your mic. Just mute your mic. All right. Go ahead, brother.
Another brother that gets overlooked, his name is Ronnie Foster. You know what I'm saying? And Trap Called Quest, they sample. Ronnie Foster.
Hold that thought. I'm sorry. You keep going. Also mute your mic.
Sir, I'm doing something real quick. That's why I told Rob to take the mic for 5 minutes, because I'm doing something real quick.
Yeah, but it sound nosy. That's what I'm saying. Mute your mic. Mute your mic.
Hold on. Give me a minute. Why is it doing that?
Okay, go ahead, brother Rob.
Yeah, his name was Ronnie Foster. And Ronnie Foster, a lot of his music is the start to house music, start to techno. Uh, these are people that get lost in the mix because there are so many great artists. But like, man, you know what I'm saying? I feel like if we took it back to live music, man, we would rule the industry, the music industry. If we just made it to where like everybody demanded live music, we would rule it. You know what I'm saying? Because that would make sure these pick up, you know what I'm saying, instruments again, occupy their mind. They'll start doing better in school. It's studies on top of studies that prove it. You know what I'm saying? And then in doing so, you know what I'm saying, we would create an industry that we could rule. You know what I'm saying? So economically and then, you know, educationally, we would benefit from both of those. You know what I'm saying?
I,
Not to mention the social aspect of it as well, you know.
I want to
Okay.
say something. He,
Hey,
the brother from Chicago. I'm sorry, you just spoke. What's your name? I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah, bro Rob.
Bro, Rob. It's Kurt Sugar. Yo, it's funny you mentioned Ronnie Foster because I'm one of the biggest Trial Called Quest fans. But yesterday, I think the song they sampled was called Mystic Brew, right? For Ronnie
oh,
Foster.
yeah, that's a classic.
That's a classic.
Yes, sir.
I got
Mr.
this thing on my phone called Jazz slash Breakbeats. Donald Byrd and Lonnie Liston Smith, some of my favorite artists. But getting back to Ronnie Foster, DJ Scratch on New York radio,
Hmm.
he will play what you call a sample song. He will play Trial Called Quest, then he will play the original sample song for where it came from. He's famous for doing that. He comes on every Saturday night at 9 o'clock to 11. He played Trial Called Quest, then he played Ronnie Foster. Then he played Trial Called Quest, then he played they sample Butter, Gary Bartz. So it's funny you mentioned that because now, I'm hearing a song in my head and I was listening to DJ Scratch in Chicago, Rob, that I'm a house music historian. House music in Newark is next to God and Oxygen. I listen to it every day. Ron Hardy, WBMX, Chicago was playing house music. Even though we're talking about jazz, I just had to get that out the way. Frankie Knuckles was playing house music in Chicago. Jack Master Farley. So house music, man, is a way of life in Newark, bro.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And there's a brother. I forgot his name. He made this song Montana, and he was what he's very underrated of the vibe player. I forgot. He used to play with Ronnie Foster too. Oh my God, what he played on Bridges Road too. Oh my God, what his name? I think his last name was Hutchison, if I'm
Talking
not
about
mistaken.
not Roy Ayers, right?
Huh?
Not Roy Ayers.
No, his last name is Hutchison, but he played with Ron. He played Ronnie all the time. He's one of the jazz great, very excellent vibe. Man. He's excellent vibe player, and he made this song Montana. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Oh man, what his name? It's now I know his last name is Hutchison. It's
Yeah.
William.
Well, see, Chicago, we're a very diverse musical city. You know what I'm saying? Some parts of the city they live and die by reggae. Some parts
Mm.
of the city, they live and die by house. Like this, we got the largest house picnic like in the world. You know, it happened like 4th of July weekend every year. I mean, it
Chosen few.
yeah, chosen few DJs, they throw it every year. And I mean, it might be 150,000 people out there, no lie, bro. And I mean, it ain't gonna
I
be
seen it.
nothing. You might smell something a little weird in the air. You know what I'm saying? People gonna be drinking and dancing. But that's all it gonna be. And it be 100% peace. People don't believe me when I tell them, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to believe 150,000 people out there partying in peace, drinking and smoking and doing all types of debauchery, but it's all in peace. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
that's just real talk, dog. And I mean, and this, the network, it is international. So what I'm saying is we sitting on our answer. We control the trends.
Hey,
We,
Rob, I
you
plan
know,
on going next year to the Chosen Few, my brother.
man, bro, when you get here, man, look me up, man. I'm telling you, bro, you will kick it so hard with me,
Un-
family. You know what I'm saying? Kick it with me.
Underrated. Give brother Rob my phone number.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know
All right.
about Harold's Fried Chicken. I went to Chicago in 2009. I fell in love with. I ain't want to come back.
Man, bro. Hey,
I
look.
got you. All
The,
right, low.
everybody save the date though, man. Labor Day weekend is the African Fest, bro. I want to do it big. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna buy a tent. I'm gonna spend the money in faith that y'all gonna come, right? It's the African Fest, Joe. Is gonna be a great time. Y'all just gotta come. I showed people like on video a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta come to feel it. You know what I'm saying? It's called the African Fest.
Hmm.
Okay. Low soul. You could
Yeah, I mean,
unmute your mic. What you do? You heard what we was talking about, right?
yeah, I heard everything everybody was talking about. That's why I was just getting an intake into it, and I wasn't saying that. I was just hearing the brothers talk. You know what I'm saying? Once again, God bless the brothers. But you know what? I think jazz plays in every type of music that we have today. If you really think about it, rappers, jazzers, singers, rock and rollers. There's a harmony to jazz in everything that you hear music today. The sound, the feeling, it has to have harmony behind it. You feel me? But I like to go way back then and see how everything collaborated together. And I'm gonna just say, son, jazz is something that has been put on the shelf. It really doesn't have the shine and the respect that it deserves as well. Cause me myself, I ain't even gonna lie, I listen to jazz music and opera and epic music just for the love of jazz itself. You know what I mean? And I can go way back into the 70s, you know what I'm saying? When my mom used to play her classic jazz and she used to mix her salsa Spanish music with merengue and Cuban music with what? With jazz playing, with tumbas and drums. You know what I'm talking about? So I think jazz just plays in everybody's generation. It's just not talked about. It's not really put out there. No one gets recommendations for it. They're the ones that really put in the hard work. That's why music is so relevant and so relevant today. You understand? So I think everybody should just wake up and realize that, there's more of a history than just hip hop and rock and roll and country music and all that other aspects of music that people like to listen to. If it wasn't for that jazz movement and for the instruments that were played, not technology wise, not audio, but just by jazz music, it created a sensation of music to look where it's at today. That's my quote.
Okay. That's cool. Hey, there's 4 ones. Need 2 more ones to see the food. 2 more ones. 2 more ones. Yeah, but anytime, sis. I want to get some sisters on the panel too in a few minutes. Afrocentric, if you're ready, let me know. Rain woman, you don't need to put rain woman. You don't need like, hold on, brothers. Let me show the food before we continue. Let me move this up the way. Good old cheeseburger, homemade. And it's a no little, got a little tang, little tang right here. And on top of that, I put some this Heinz BBQ Kentucky bourbon, rich and savory. And I'm ready to bust that moon down. That's right. It's basic, easy to make, fellas. Quick, creative, fast. I baked it. Come out great. Tell you how to. Amen. God, that bourbon bring that out. And this is steak. This is steak burger. And also what I put is Worcestershire sauce on both sides. I rewrap it up. So I want the wrapper to get into the meat. Good mom. I ain't lying. I'm sorry, as you were.
Hey Joe,
Well,
while we was talking and we was talking about Chicago and talk about music, it just made me think about, you know what I'm saying, yesterday, that's how I missed the stream, G. I had stepped out a little bit, you know what I'm saying, and they was jacking. The party was it was cracking, you know what I mean? And so I got a little something, you know what I'm saying? I can't play it for long. I don't want you to get a strike or nothing. But check this out, Joe.
Fair use, fair use. Fair use.
Working late.
Fair
Yeah.
use. Fair
That's that
use.
Chicago shit right there, Joe.
Okay, all right.
Hey Rob, that's Boosie featuring Black Coffee, bro. That's a classic already.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I mean, and that's what it was last night. So, you know what I'm saying? Your man's was floating, you know what I mean? You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
I feel you.
Yeah, but I had an Uber, so I was winning, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm able, everybody, I'm sure people look at the news and say to themselves, man, I never go to Chicago where I move in and out of the city, no problem. You know what I mean? So it's the amount of you know you have to be willing to accept what's real versus what they telling you. You know what I'm saying? And and I'm hoping that this stream and and other brothers that that kind of build with us, that this is where we come to get our perspective and build our best practices and take these conversations. Hopefully they impactful and you can take them back to your families and say, hey, we was talking on YouTube the other day and this is what we was talking about. And these are conversation starters so that we can kind of get that vibe going and get it in the ether and you know what I'm saying, and really make things happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, Joe, I mean, I feel like we could do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, I'm always optimistic. You know what I'm saying?
That's how my channel's all about, though, Rob. You should know.
Yeah,
That's a,
no, that's why I don't feel apprehensive at all in and stating that I really do believe in our people, and it's not a platitude. It's not something I'm just saying to make us feel good. I do understand what odds we are up against. I do understand that we got people who are sitting in high places that can make changes that we really don't have the mechanisms or organization to handle right now. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like we could get it together. It's not impossible. You know what I'm saying? And I can point out little success stories, but that's just not enough. We need everybody, you know what I'm saying? And so that's where I'm at. Like I said earlier in the chat, I'm in a good mood. I'm in a great mood. I'm in a hopeful mood. You know what I'm saying? I was doing some research on the Haitian Revolution and was just looking at some of the challenges that Toussaint Louverture had and Dessalines them had after his death and and what Queen Nanny them went through and what did liberation look like for them after what I'm saying they had fought them off, right? Like, man, what was their next move and how did they falter? You know what I'm saying? What could we do? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm looking at now. You know what I'm saying? What's the next step? People always asking for solutions. I'm like, man, nobody really stepping up with one. I guess they waiting on me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's all. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, man, I'm always bubbling with optimism, man. I have to be. You know what I'm saying? I'm a basketball coach. You know what I'm saying? I'm a mentor. I'm a father. I'm a black man that live in America. I mean, shit, if I ain't optimistic, I goddamn think I'm about to go to jail tomorrow. I mean, that's what the statistics say. You know what I'm saying? I'm a abnormal man, you know what I'm saying? I'm married and got kids and I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I'm abnormal in a way, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. Um, Before I get to you, Curtis. Oh, Rob, did you listen to the live I did last night? Not the first one. I'm talking about the second one that I did about the late great Hazel Dorothy Scott. I mean,
Nah,
Dora.
I didn't get a chance to catch it.
Oh yeah,
No, but no, but I got the it's in my email. I'm gonna look at it later on because I grew up, with people like that. Don't forget Cheryl Bassey too, who did the James Bond. But I'm gonna look at your live stream because that interests me. I'm definitely gonna catch up on that.
oh yeah. Loso,
Yes, sir. I'm in.
I'm gonna tell you, he listened to that to start at the beginning, and I'm gonna tell you, Loso know what I'm talking about. After I finished, and I was not gonna have like really, because I got the first laptop. I mean, the first live I did yesterday. I just made my mind. I was not gonna have a panel discussion. And the second one, at first, I was not gonna have it either, but it was such a beautiful bill last night. That was just me and Lo. So I'm trying to get other people, but I guess they feel like it. It was a beautiful bill. And also I want to share to the panel and the rest of the chat what we was building last night. It was beautiful. King Hebrew, if you want to get on the panel, let me know.
One thing that I could say about yesterday, history is very important. Very important to spread the knowledge and the wisdom that we all know. Just like Brother Rob was talking about, you know what I'm saying? Being optimistic. Mm-hmm. You see, the beautiful sister that we were talking about yesterday, she had that. She had the ambition. She was a civil rights leader. She was a fighter. She was a jazz musician. She was a queen. She was wealthy. She was powerful. And just to build a connection like that, where I myself didn't know about this history, I felt compelled. I felt like that's why you need to do more research. That's why you got to get more of them elements to understand more for what goes over people's head, right there at the naked eye. Just like my brother Rob was talking about the history of Haiti. Haiti wasn't even called Haiti back in the ancestry times. Haiti was one of the most wealthiest and most powerful places in the world. That's a history that I follow because I'm also am Puerto Rican and Cuban. I got Jamaican in my family. My great-great-grandmother is from Nigeria. And she grew up on jazz. She grew up in that old school agenda where you had to play your own instruments and learn how to play piano by yourself and create your own activities and own dances. It wasn't given to you for free. My great-great-grandmother was my biggest inspiration when it came to music. So just to hear about a powerful, beautiful sister who JT was talking about, that right there just should let us know that there should be more queens out there that are willing to, you know what I'm saying, inspire themselves, just like a lot of strong Black and Latin sisters and even white sisters are doing today. Women are becoming very powerful. They're holding their own empires. They're becoming entrepreneurs. They're becoming captains, lawyers, judges. You see? So if you really want to go back in history and what we was talking about yesterday, it's just a wonderful feeling to know that there was a brave sister like that who stood up for us and fought for us and did whatever she had to do to look like the beautiful queen that she was. And what I got from that is that we can all learn from each other, brace from each other, stop the hatred, stop the bullshit. Excuse my language. I'm just going to keep it 100. Stop the bullshit. Stop pointing fingers at your brothers and sisters and start pointing the finger at yourself for your faults, for your guilt and whatever you've done, and start getting yourself together, like Brother Rob said. Once you get yourself together and the people get together, we all got knowledge and wisdom. We all are very smart, very intellectual. You know what I'm saying? Most of us are sophisticated. We go out for ours. And you know what I'm saying? We do what we got to do to handle business to make sure we take care of ourselves and the family, etc. So what I got from yesterday talking with you, JT, about everything is that brothers and sisters need to come more together and you reunite more together. And just like Brother Rob said, when you can make things happen, that's when you see the movement actually moving to progress in this process that we're going through, that we so-called democracy in great America, when we all know that's bigotry and bigotry. So I just want to thank you, JT, for allowing me to have that spectacular panel yesterday, talking about an amazing woman that I know now stood for me, stood for my peoples, stood for my other family. And that's why we all here. Man, all I got to say is salute to the sisters. Real talk.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. Very much appreciate it. Yo, Kurt, you can add something to it.
Well, you know, what holds our people back? First of all, I want to say, Loso, you know about Angela Bofield. She was also Puerto Rican and Cuban descent. Her father played with the great salsa guy. He passed away. What's his name?
Yeah, he did pass away. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, Angela Bofield is a great R&B singer, man. Great Puerto Rican, Cuban, Latina, beautiful sister. She had a couple of
Yeah,
strokes, so she can't perform like she did years ago. Great artist.
exactly.
Anyway, yes, sir. But we need to come together, man. Our people. It's a psychological scar that holds back the unity, and people don't realize how serious that is. And the other day, there was a 16-year-old black girl named Treasure saying how black people this and black people that. She's the poster child of self-hate. I blame her mother, and it was sad to see. And you could talk about the brown paper bag tests. You could talk about the black little girl picking a white doll baby over the black doll baby. When something cuts that deep, it becomes psychological. And sad to say, you need a generation or two to get over that, because there's a lot of self-hate, within our race, because we've been taught to hate each other. We've been taught to fight. You look in the dictionary, the color black, it means bad. It's always wicked. Little white lie,
I'm
big
black
black lie.
black. So I already know how that go. My father's black. I grew up in the gutter. I grew up with nothing, police brutality. Two of my uncles got hung by police officers. I mean, I've been through it all myself. So I feel where you coming from. Much respect for real.
And yeah, true that. And I like just reading, books. That's how I get my intelligence. It's like a car, getting gas. I listen, well, not listening, but I read a lot of Francis Cress Welsing.
Okay.
Sister was brilliant. I mean, I could say I want us all to get together, but the other side don't want to see that, man. You had a shooting yesterday where a guy walked up in a Pittsburgh synagogue and massacred, 11 people, I believe, is dead. Just shot up everything because, the other
I
side.
believe that was the man. I believe the Republicans and Donald Trump playing old people think, you know what I'm saying, that it was somebody else that did this for real. I don't believe that, man. I believe it's a setup, bro.
Well,
Oh,
America always had conspiracies going back to day one. The American government, always been what I call the evil empire. They've been behind president assassinations, coups, military takeovers, everything. They always got their hand in somebody else's pot. They're like the world police, and seeing that, being a black American, seeing that firsthand, man, how people being held back. It's just layers of red tape and corruption and everything. It's just a mess right now, man.
Uh, Loso said his phone is dying. Oh man, let's take care of that. Well, I just love jazz. I just like it's something that is dear to me. In a stretch out of different aspects of life. You know, and sometimes that we don't understand until we really experience it. Brother Rob, Anything you want to chime in before we continue?
Man, I share your affection for jazz. Um, do I listen to it every day? I don't, but I do love the genre, and by understanding the history and and everything, the story and the genre is that more intriguing. Um, I would say I got other things that I like to bring to the discussion, but he had brought up Frances Cress Westland, and I'm gonna be doing the bill very soon on the 13th chapter. You know what I'm saying? In the 13th chapter of the ISIS papers, it's dealing with the image and the concept of God. You know what I'm saying? God is a word that's in our lexicon now, but it's a French word. God bois du bois. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, um, the concept and the color of God. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be doing a bill shortly, and I mean, I love to open it up for that. You know what I'm saying too. Just to see some preliminary ideas and see which direction I want to go with the building. You know what I'm saying? If I could get y'all thoughts on that.
Go ahead, Kurt.
Well, that's what's up. We talking about jazz, which is, like I said, is great music, man. We should have a part two because there's so much to cover. We should take a particular artist and study him and study his music. I don't care who it is. May underrated. We can lab. You too, Rob. I want to say Chicago, man, is a great city. I'm gonna tell you why. Basketball players and music, man. Look at how many musicians from Chicago they have produced, man. Some of my favorite actors from Chicago, Wood Harris, Steve Harris, they from Chicago. I can go on and on. Marla Gibbs from the Jeffersons, she's from Chicago. I'm just throwing out names. Shaka Khan is from Chicago. Man,
Great.
it's ridiculous, man. That's why I had to go to Chicago. I had to soak up some of that culture, the food, man. I went to the DeSable Museum because the Haitian brother discovered Chicago. DeSable did. I went to the museum. Walked the streets, the Wild Hundreds, they call it. Went shopping on 147th Street. Got some of that, Harold's fried chicken. So you soak up that culture, man. And Midwest always been an underrated region. And I can't wait to go back to Chicago. So big ups to Chicago, man. You mean because they produce so many great people. And getting back to jazz, John Coltrane, The Love Supreme. I just wish that album was longer. But that's one of the greatest albums ever on wax, man. It's beautiful, not only in jazz, but music in general. He was a genius, just like Charlie Bird Parker, Thelonious Monk, and Wes Montgomery. I can go on and on.
All right,
So I'll
Brenda.
pass the mic.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Brenda Johnson. Send the link out. Here it comes. I think I got it. Oh yeah. Let's not forget about the late great Charlie Mingus.
Whew. Yes, sir. Charlie Mingus. We have a jazz show that comes on 5 in the morning. Cause when I want to hear some unadulterated raw hip hop, we have the Deacon Strange show on 89.9. It used to be Stretch and Bobito. That's been coming on for years. They not on the radio no more. After the hip hop, it's called Midnight Express, something like that. It's a jazz show, and they play a lot of Charlie Mingus. And a certain they take a certain jazz artist like him, and they play like a 2-day marathon. So for any jazz artist, you can download the app, tune in radio, and then they'll come up on the app. WBGO. No, I'm sorry, not WBGO. That's also a jazz station. That's 88.3. But this station called WBGO KCR 89.9, and you can hear a lot of jazz on that station.
Mhm. Yeah, I love jazz. I love jazz. And then when what I learned about when I did the story of the late great Hazel Dorothy Scott, she was married to the late great Adam Clay Pop for 15 years. And at the time, they were the most powerful. They said they were the most powerful black powerful couple in America. And was so
Wow.
was so appreciative about that. It was somebody was asking, and this was like the Congress going after Adam Clay Pop because they said he was embezzlement and stuff like that. But they was jealous because I'm not getting off such a family. I would get right back. I would get right back talk to Hazel Scott that he's one of the now this I'm going by hearing this. More than one person had told me this, and this is close resource that he is the first Congress of anybody in Congress had passed over 100 different laws. One of the few people that been on mostly all committees. They said at the time that he in the 60s, going to the 50s, and going to the late 50s and in 60s, they said he was just about the most powerful man on Congress. He passed a lot of laws for us that we don't know. I mean, because we don't know, we don't really see. And but get back to the story. When he was going through his trouble, it was this white reporter asked Hazel Charles that, "Oh, what you think about him? And he do this and that." And she said, "When I learned from my mother and my mother and my grandmother, you should never, wherever you break up with, you should never talk bad about them. Wherever it was bad about them, that's between y'all two. Always talking about what's good." And she would not falter. And I respect that. And I'm told they was hounding her. I seen that they was hounding her. No, I remember the good times that I had with him, and that's it. And in the class how she did it. Now I'm talking about back in the like I'm talking about what just happened like in the late 60s. A lot of turmoil was really happening. Now this is when the time um the late great Miles Davis at the time, he was he was fusing up different music at that time because when he was doing the 50, it was like a certain code. No, you're gonna fuse jazz or maybe blues up. But he wanted to fuse different stuff. So a lot of people understand when he came up with British Brewer back in '69. Yeah, that was very commercially, but he was fused even back then. And so that was between the times of us as a people, we fight for our rights as a people. That was during the time of marijuana, we was smoking and all like that. Vietnam War and all that stuff. But of all those times that Hazel got to stand firm with that. And that was the time that black couples that they wasn't together, they still loved each other, they always respect each other and everything. So for me, that I'm gonna get you, Brenda Johnson. I'm gonna get you in. I'm gonna get you in. So what I'm saying is this: that jazz, that music had talked to that social change. I'm not saying other genre of music haven't. I'm not saying that because it had, but jazz had that grip. Jazz had that social connection. Jazz had that certain soul that makes you react to do it. And that's what jazz means to me. One of your brothers could jump on it while I'm trying to get Queen on it.
Well, I want to talk about Roy Ayers, man. You know, this dude is underrated. I want you to check out a group he produced that Trial Called Quest sample, jazz fusion. This group was from Cincinnati called Ramp. You know, produced by Roy Ayers. They also remade, the Sunshine song. What's the name of the song by Roy Ayers? By everybody sample. Uh,
Everybody love the sunshine.
right, right. There you go. A group called Ramp. The album was called Coming to Knowledge. That was made in, I believe, 1977. That's a great underrated album. But Roy Ayers' Ubiquity, a classic album. You know, my favorite three artists, Lonnie Liston Smith, and Donald Byrd, who produced a great album called Spaces and Places, I believe. Great album. So those three artists never get no play, and they're like jazz fusion artists with a touch of R&B, you know. And Roy Ayers also had his hand in house music because they remade a couple of his songs, but jazz always been great, influential music, very underappreciated, and like I said, we're going to take a jazz artist in the near future and we're going to study him and his music and talk about it for an hour and a half.
And you know what? Before I get to you, brother Rob, Brenda, I'm hooking you up again. Do you? A lot of people don't understand. On one of the black exploitation movie, Coffee, he written, produced, and arranged that. People, Roy Ayers. Let me repeat that. The soundtrack of Coffee back in the mid-70s, one of the black exploitation movies, Roy Ayers did that. To me, one of the most underrated soundtracks in the 70s. Excuse me, I'm talking about throughout the black exploitation time. Very underrated. You can go ahead, brother Rob. Good brother Rob.
Oh yeah. I was glad that you had brought up the point, and this is a point that gets overlooked a lot. Our music reflected our struggle. And so in turn, the young people kind of knew how to respond. Um, Wise Intelligent brung this point out. Um, when the Rodney King verdict came out, the number one song was Public Enemy. You know what I'm saying? Fear of a Black Planet. You know what I'm saying? Right? Um, but when um let me try, I'm trying to think of his name right now. So many names. Trayvon Martin. When Trayvon Martin happened though, right? The number one song, Lil Wayne, Lollipop. You see? And so our consciousness is attached to the music, I would say. And our consciousness should reflect in the music. But we've lowered our standard. Oh, and well, he making money. It's juking. She fine. She got a big ass. I mean, I don't listen to the lyric beat. I hear so many excuses on the standard of music being this low. It's not because we old. It's because this music is really it's trash. I mean, that's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's trash. These dudes don't have no bars. And because of that, you know what I mean? Shorties be around here sounding like they from second grade records rapping. You know what I'm saying? It's terrible, man. You know what I'm saying? Whip, no keys.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Go ahead, Kirk. Go ahead, Kirk, because I'm trying to get this sister on. All right, and you could talk about jazz. Who's your favorite jazz musician, songwriter, and stuff like that? And after
Oh man,
that, brother Robin, I throw my thing in.
yeah. Oh, my favorite artist is John Coltrane, man. Like I said, the album "A Man Called Train" and "Love Supreme" is two of my favorite albums. You can throw Miles in there too, but I listen to them the most. This man was studied. Just like Chuck D said, you got me going insane like Coltrane. He he said it the best. His music is timeless. You know, um, he was way before his time, like a lot of jazz artists. He put out masterpieces. You know, so he was my favorite artist. You know, and I wish people would listen to jazz. You can't force people what to listen to, but I wish more people would get into jazz because it's been a forgotten gem. It's been a forgotten music.
Mhm.
And that's a shame because it's a beautiful music. I remember George Foreman said, "A technical box is like jazz. The better it is, the less people will appreciate it." I remember he said that, and it's true. That's the coalition. It's true. You know. And but talking about something else, there's the record that Isaac Hayes did called "Pursuit of the Pimp Mobile" because not only jazz but composing music. Marvin Gaye was a great composer when he did Trouble Man. It was a lot of jazz fusion in there.
Oh
You
yes,
know,
very underrated.
yes, Isaac Hayes did a soundtrack called Truck Turner, the movie,
Yeah, I
and
remember that.
yeah, the Pursuit of the Pimp Mobile, one of my favorite instrumentals because I'm an instrumentalist. I love instrumentals because I'm a music lover. I appreciate music. You know, even rock music can incorporate jazz fusion, like the group The Doors. They had a song called "Riders of the Storm." There was a slow, melodic, jazzy kind of feel. They kind of changed the game with that single
Yeah,
called "Riders of the Storm," and they was a rock
and
group.
and another one when they did Soul Kitchen.
Right. You know, I also like my favorite rock group who was influenced by jazz, Steely Dan. That's my favorite rock group of all time. They had some records that was really jazzy, bluesy type of feel.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. How you can hear the artist influenced by jazz and they weren't jazz artists.
No, it wasn't.
You can hear it in hip hop, Tribe Called Quest, how we touched on, who they sampled a lot of jazz artists. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so that's my take, bro, on jazz, man. And tomorrow or maybe later tonight, I'm gonna listen to some more jazz because I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I just love that. Though. Yeah, I'm telling you, it is. Ooh, what happened? Yeah, but oh, oh, Derek, man, what the? Yeah, but and also y'all know you remember the group of Two Man?
Yes.
And Two Man, I think his uncles, what his uncles? Um, it's not the Mills brothers. I forgot. Oh my God, what's the name? They do jazz too. They came from jazz, but what's their name? It's Slim because I was listening to them earlier. Um, it's not the Mills brothers.
Hey, you like Gregory Porter? I
Huh?
did Gregory Porter music. Gregory Porter.
Oh, okay. I don't see
Uh,
no.
what? 1960 who? 1960 what? 1960 who? That's the song that kind of put
Detroit
them
is
on.
burning.
Yeah, yeah. That's the
Yeah,
song that kind of put them on. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's supposed to
And
be in Newark next month at the NJ Pack, man.
yeah, I dig his music. And then another obscure artist that wait, let me think of what's her name? Her name is Sumi. Somi. You know what I'm saying? And she used to go to U of I in Champaign. And
Hmm.
and man, dude, she got this song called Ginger Me Slowly, bro. Man, I think it's so raw, you know what I'm saying? But man, that's just in the rotation, you know what I'm saying? It's just another obscure artist that I love, you know what I'm saying, that I listen to. I like neo soul, you know, I'm a neo soul hip hop head, you know what I'm saying? I'm stuck
Okay.
in stuck in the 90s, you know what I'm saying, with my hip hop, but you know, and I'm an MC too, you know what I'm saying? But you know, that's it, you know.
Oh, that's what's up. It's. I also want to shout out this group called Incognito. She used to sing with them. She's incredible. Mesa. Woo, she was something else. Talented, man. You know, her name was Mesa, and she did an
Yes, sir. I
album.
know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, right? That sister's fire right there. You know, she was R&B jazz, but she was more jazz than anything. She used to sing with Incognito. You know, they had a hit called Deep Waters. I'm drowning in deeper. Yeah, you know, and she did her own thing. She had a lot of solo albums. She was from Washington, D.C. Yeah, Mesa. You know, so I love neo soul too, because there's a guy by me. I'm deep into house music as well. His name was Eric Roberson. He did house
Oh yeah,
R&B.
Jersey,
Eric
Jersey.
Hell
Roberson.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
he from
Eric
Rahway,
Roberson,
New Jersey.
he's super dope. Every time he come to Chicago, I go see him, Joe. Every time.
That's that's what's up. He right by me because he got two names. He go by Arrow as his house music name. Then when he do the R&B stuff, he call himself Eric Roberson. You know, and we have a lot of outdoor concerts in the summertime with a house music artist. We have a bunch of house music festivals, you know, but you know, it's just man, the music, man, jazz, and we all over the place. But that's where the conversation leads us. Those are the best conversations where it's not premeditated. We just go where it takes us, you know, and uh, listen to Don. Oh, what's that song? Donald Byrd, that instrumental. Ooh, Cristo Redentor. That's a great record, man. That's a great record. Listen to that. It's called Donald Byrd's Cristo Redentor.
Oh yeah, and Muhammad, who I am. I mean, Muhammad is the one. He said, "What about Grover Washington Jr.? Very underrated. One of the few ones also that fused jazz with R&B and something that people go to 75 Knucklehead.
Muhammad, you
You
right on that. Grover Washington Jr. You know, people
very
sample his
underrated.
music.
Yeah.
Boot Camp Clip sampled his some of his songs. Grover Washington Jr. He had the classic Mr. Magic cut that's like 9 minutes long. And Grover Washington Jr., man, great artist, man.
Died too early too. Died in 1999. Too early, man.
Yeah,
Underrated. Great. A lot of people, and you know, he's one of the few jazz musicians and composers as arrangers that actually a lot of record labels was calling them to do a lot of stuff. That's unheard of when you in jazz.
yep.
But he's one of the first people.
Didn't he do that classic record with Patti LaBelle, The Best Is Yet to Come?
Yes.
It was jazzy R&B-ish, yeah. Great
Yes.
record. One of
And
Patti
also,
LaBelle's greatest record because of Grover Washington Jr.
right. And also, don't forget about family throughout the Cosby shows years and everything. He composed that too.
Yeah. Yeah, he was great, man. Woo.
Don't get tripped. Yeah, use.
Mm.
Mhm. I'm telling you,
My
that song.
fault. I'm over here. I just pulled up the joint and I was like, ooh, I gotta play that when I go in the crib. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but I love her music, man. One more time, her name is Somi, and the song is called "Ginger Me Slowly." You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's a dope joint. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like artists like her, it's no space because we download our desires. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Right.
we sexually driven, and we instead of listening to the music, listening to the essence of the music. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm probably sounding like a preacher, you know what I'm saying? But I remember when they didn't play hip hop on the radio, you know what I'm saying? I'm dating myself now. But I remember that, Joe. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I used to look forward to Saturday, Pink House would play all of the joints for us, you know what I'm saying? Here, HBK, you know what I'm saying? And KKC, I mean. KKC was the college radio station. You know what I'm saying? Kennedy King College. They had a radio station. And Pink House was he would go to New York and he'd get the Ron G tapes and all of that and play all of the latest hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And we'd go to the flea market to get tapes. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? I mean, man, I grew up, I'm a hip hopper, Joe. I mean, I still damn near wear Timbs in the summertime, you know what I'm saying? I'm a B-boy, you know what I'm saying? Um, I mean, that's just how I, you know, in terms of my music taste, you know what I'm saying? So I like jazz because of Jazzmatazz, you know what I'm saying? That's what made me do the history on it, you know what I'm saying? Guru doing Jazzmatazz, you know what I'm saying? So that of course that turned me on to other artists, you know what I'm saying? Sarah Vaughan and all of them, you know what I mean? And in doing that, it didn't do nothing but enrich my love for our people and our genius. You know what I'm saying? It's so many people that we can name off that's just musical geniuses. Who wouldn't like Stevie Wonder? There's something wrong with you if you don't like Stevie. It's something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? That's just the truth.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't like Stevie Wonder, it's something wrong with you. I can see if you didn't like Prince. Okay, all right. Maybe you don't like Michael Jackson, the old Michael Jackson. I mean, but the old Michael Jackson, off the wall Michael Jackson, it's nothing not to like. You know what I'm saying? Off the wall is like, I mean, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing not to like. So what I'm saying is that we need to own and market our own genius. We realize what did happen to our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? We could name off geniuses all night. You know what I'm saying? But going forward, we gotta own and market our own genius, man. We gotta do it. We got to do it. That way we can leave it to our kids. We know it's going to be a fight. We know it's going to be ugly. But, somebody got to do it. Shit. Somebody do, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. JT, you got a little something in that tang, man. You got a little white in that tang or something, brother. Yes, sir. I see you peeking over. You peeking over there, man. Got a little whiskey in the barbecue sauce or something, you know.
No, ain't nothing like that, bro.
I'm messing with you, man. I'm
I
messing
know.
with you.
I was.
But look though, man, the idea of this breaking bread every Sunday, even if people not literally eating right now as the show going on, just the idea of it, you know what I'm saying? That's what I love about it. I'ma always support, you know what I'm saying? I'ma always be here. But breaking bread on a Sunday is a great idea. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what conversation is supposed to float. You know what I'm saying? Where our ingenuity supposed to come to light. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's that thing. Before I continue, that's what basically that I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? I always been wanting to do this. and everything. And it's just because sometimes some of us we go through things, and sometimes that we got sometimes like a week on our like we do our lives sometimes we don't like engage. So I said, let me create this so the people could come on, they could eat with me, we can eat at the table and talk and have fun. Sometimes let your head down, let your head, I mean, wherever if you got something, but you know, let your head down. But that's what it's all about. That's what I create, you know what I mean? So I'm happy I'm doing that. I heard because you know, y'all helped me a lot.
That's what's up, man. We can come together and brainstorm and fellowship, talk about any and everything, man. That means a lot. That's like breaking bread, with your fellow, brother man. That's how I feel about it.
Let
But I
me
want to bring in another artist
go ahead.
who was R&B and fused jazz in her style, and that was the great Phyllis Hyman, who was an artist who was jazzy but R&B, and she did a great job. Her style was beautiful. She should have been bigger than what she was, but she left some great music behind. I also want to shout out to Rochelle Farrell and Patty
Yeah,
Austin.
right.
They was great artists,
Razzmatazz.
man. Yep,
Oh yeah.
yep, great artists.
And you know about Patty LaBelle, like Patty Austin, that you talking about. A lot of people don't understand. She was making records even in the '70s, but when I think her breakthrough thing when she came with Crusaders, Street Life in '79. You hear you hear how she's saying that in jazz.
That was Randy Crawford.
I'm sorry. I mean Randy Crawford. Um, the one you talking about, she did Razzmatazz. If I'm
Right,
mistaken.
what? Yeah, you're right. Razzmatazz with Quincy Jones, the dude. That was a great album.
That was a
You
great
know,
album. I'm sorry, I got the name mixed up,
no, that's okay. That's okay.
but you know Crawford, she was singing jazz even back in the early '70s, family. But
Right.
when she came to the Crusaders, now the Crusaders when they first came out in the early '50s, they was jazz messengers. They always was into jazz, but they one of the few ones that they was a group they fused it and everything. Now they was not as big in the '60s and the '70s, but if you really look back, they did have some great work. I'm talking about they come out with some music that I'm not gonna say I would say that they was ahead of their time of fusing, but I'm not gonna say but like Southern Comfort, the Crusaders, one underrated to me alternative jazz LPs in tech. Now,
Yep.
while I say alternative at that time, I'm talking about for the business purpose. That's why I say it like that.
And don't forget Mary Wilson, and I'm missing somebody else. Diana Reeves. Whew. Diana Reeves was great. She made the song when she was paying homage to grandmothers.
Yeah.
So those artists, man, are very often overlooked, man. Great, great musicians, great artists.
Yeah, and I mean, while we paying homage, and this is one of my most famous, I mean, one of my favorite artists. His name Donny Hathaway, man. Donny
Oh,
Oh
Hathaway.
very,
yeah.
Donny
yeah.
Donny is like who I listen to when I get run out of patience with our people on the real. He ain't heavy. He my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like on the real, man, that man speak to me, bro. On the real. Like, and if artists would just work in the vein of a Donny Hathaway, if we just had somebody, just anybody, you know what I'm saying, that would be willing to work in that vein, bro. I would support him. You know what I'm saying? I would support him. I mean, that's just my take on it. But Donny Hathaway, to me, man, dude, nobody did it like him, and he was ultra talented, bro, ultra talented, and that just speak to a problem that we overlook in the Black community. You know what I'm saying? Mental illness is a, serious issue that we overlook. I know you talk about it, JT, and other platforms might hint on it a little bit, but mental illness, if I'm not mistaken, that's what ended up taking Phyllis Hyman's life, So at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, Donny Hathaway, I would say, is one of my most favorite artists to listen to. You know what I'm saying? And then shout out to Dwelle, man. That's another one of my favorites.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to get this sister on. Oh boy. Brother, I'm trying to get this sister on. She said copy the link and put it in. I'm trying to do it. Dang, what's going on? But I definitely, I'm trying to get this sister on. Oh, hold on. Yeah. You still there, Rob?
Yeah, no doubt. I'm still here. I
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? It looked like we lost Kurt though. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But you
No, I
know,
sent it back.
go ahead,
I
go
sent
ahead.
it back. No, I sent it back. I sent the link back. I'm trying to get Brenda on, but I have a problem to sit on. I had problems. I don't know.
Let me see. I might can send it.
Okay, you can do that. That's very much appreciated.
Yeah. Hey, but when I was talking earlier, what I just fell off, I just dropped out for a second. I didn't know how much y'all had heard what I was saying.
I'm trying to remember what you said. I probably remember.
I don't know. No worries. I was just I just remember I had fell off and I'm like, dang, what happened? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just emailed it to Brenda. Hopefully she got it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that was, earlier what was on my mind. I like I said, going forward, I really want to talk about, just having the proper perspective so that like going into the new year, we can actually do some things. You know what I'm saying? Like people always talking about so that like going into the new year.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah. I just sent it to her. All right, so
Thank,
hey, peace,
thank
sister. I'm gonna fall back. Peace, sister.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you. We tried. My way wasn't working, but Rob Ray's working, so it's all right.
Yeah, Rob. Thanks, brother Rob. Thank you. Oh, you guys are talking about my passion. Woo, I'm going down memory lane big time. I love jazz. I grew up listening to jazz. My late father was a jazz pianist. So,
Okay. What is?
can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So I remember the days he would have, guys come over from his group and they would play all night long. And so I grew up listening to the likes of Miles Davis. I love Miles Davis. Oh my goodness. Thelonious Monk, John Coltrane, Charlie Bird Parker. Oh,
Mm.
kind of old school, but I love it. Love it, love it. Dizzy
So
Gillespie.
who's your favorite jazz musician or artist?
I have to say Miles. I love Miles.
Explain that, please.
Oh my goodness. Whew. It was just have you guys listened to a lot of Miles Davis?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sure you have. It's just something about the way he played that trumpet.
Oh yeah.
It was almost like it was talking to you. It was like, a voice.
Mm-hmm.
And his specialty was he had this really mellow, breathy kind of sound that nobody else has been able to reproduce. And also he knew how to use silence in his music. You know how you go and you listen to some of these less experienced jazz musicians and they think, when they start jamming that they gotta fill the air with like constant sound,
Mm-hmm.
but Miles would go and he would just play like one note and just lay off of it and just let it linger in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And it would just somehow it just kept vibrating. I just love him. Some of his some of the favorite album of his that I love. Everybody loves Kind of Blue, which I do, but I really like Someday My Prince Will Come.
Oh.
I love that album.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was recorded overseas, right?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
I think it was recorded overseas, and that's why it wasn't
Well,
extremely popular here, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's interesting.
and,
Oh
and you know, oh wow. And there is a one jazz musician that I always love, but he don't get the credit he deserves. And he had a long outstanding career before he passed away in 2008, named Freddie Hubbard.
oh yeah.
Freddie Hubbard had been around the old jazz, bebop, and he did a song. Now, a lot of people don't understand. Freddie Hubbard was no joke, family. Freddie Hubbard from like in the 50s and the 60s, he's putting out LPs throughout those times. Now, in the 70s, he slowed down a little bit and he picked up, and a lot of people recruited him. But he did a song I love. It's from born and raised in Brooklyn. You know, Brandon, you originally from Brooklyn, right? Hello? Brenda,
Oh, wait a minute. What'd you say?
you from Brooklyn, right?
I'm from Brooklyn. Yep. Yep.
Okay. Now
Well,
you're gonna appreciate this. It was him, William Shorter, Philadelphia Jones. They did an LP, Fulton and Nostrin, back in '62. It's over
ooh,
7 minutes long. It's a classic.
yes. Yes. Nostrand Avenue, Brooklyn.
That's right. Nostrin and Fulton. That's the title.
Yep.
That was the title of the song. And I'm talking about they jammed. Now, if you hear 62, I want people to understand because Brenda and Rob, you understand. You definitely understand it. But I want to tell people in the chat when you hear that, you hear back that 30 and 40 sound. But they did it in 62. And why it's so migraine in my mind? I don't get tired of hearing it. I really don't. And
Yep.
then after that, he just finished it. And then the ones that he had, he had like all of them is like Hall of Famers.
Well, I mean, if I, oh, my fault. Go ahead. I thought you was done. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, I'm just saying one last thing. Yo, family, wherever this ends tonight, Freddie Hubbard, Fulton and Nostrin, over 7 minutes. Hear that? Underrated.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and have to revisit that. That woof.
I'm telling you, after you hear that, Brittany, you gonna put her in. You gonna send a comment. Oh yeah.
Oh no, I know what you're talking about. I just haven't listened to it in a long time. I'm gonna have to go back down memory lane. I'm gonna have to pull that one up,
Mhm.
listen to it.
All right, yeah. Thanks y'all that give me thumbs down. Very much appreciated.
Yeah, why? Whoa, Jesus, why people giving thumbs down? Wow.
Aiden, that's all right. It's all right. It's okay. Go ahead, brother Rob.
Yeah. My idol. Like, if I could play an instrument, I want to play it like John Coltrane. He made it look surgical in a way. You know, my favorite song by Coltrane. I don't know what album it's on. I had a favorites album. I mean, but that it was on. It's called Soul Eyes. Uh, Coltrane. If you listen to Giant Steps, to me that's his greatest work. If you listen to Giant Steps, the first song on there, right? Like I was telling you, they would show up. They never seen them. These guys were this good. They showed up to record Giant Steps, right? Very famous story. Um, Coltrane hand out the sheet music, and then immediately they start playing. And you literally hear the piano player fall off when he do his solo because those how many notes it is. That's why the album is called Giant Steps. And like I said, these are the greatest of greats when we talking about this era in jazz, because these dudes, that's all they did, you know what I'm saying, was play 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 all day and night. You know what I'm saying? That's what they did for a living. That's what they did morning, noon, and night. And so for anybody to fall off is like unheard of. But you can hear it if you listen to Giant Steps. I can't the song, and then you will hear the piano player. He fall off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's the most. I mean, to me, you can hear how surgical John Coltrane is. Some people think it's sad, you know what I'm saying? But this John Coltrane is the epitome. He's the definition of what you call melancholy. You know what I'm saying? And so I just love the word, you know what I'm saying? But melancholy is expression that the instrument is making, you know, with the tones that he using, you know what I'm saying? And it expresses a certain thought through vibration, you know what I'm saying? So Coltrane so-called mastered this, and that's why his wife don't allow people to sample his music and everything, because she just wanted to live like exactly what it is in eternity. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people tried to chop it but got caught. You know what I'm saying? And so now people just leave it alone out of respect. But to me, Coltrane to me is my favorite. You know what I'm saying? I was about to say he the greatest, but I guess that's opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he was he's one of the greatest. I mean, because I love Coltrane, and I love a lot of other people too. It just seems like when you said Coltrane, I was thinking of the tune "In a Sentimental Mood." You remember that Coltrane train?
Yeah, yeah. In a
Oh,
sentimental mood, it'll make you cry if you
oh
thinking
yeah,
about something sad.
oh
It'll
yeah,
make you squeeze your lady tighter if that's the mood. If you listen to it.
yes, yes. It's just woo, yeah.
Yeah.
We got. I love this. The other night I did listen to I listened to it tonight about Hazel um, Scott, and
Okay.
I didn't know about her until I listened to your stream, and
Mhm.
and then and I said, wow, this woman was amazing. Um, and then I did find somebody did a really nice little thing on YouTube about her, and wow, wow, what a talent! First of all, she was a musical prodigy, just like Nina Simone.
Let me tell. Yeah, Lena Simone,
Oh yeah,
underrated.
wait, you breaking up, JT?
I'm sorry. You
Oh,
gave me
now I can.
okay. Yeah, under oh, one of my favorites too, Nina Simone.
Oh my Lord. Woof. And she was another one who was a musical prodigy. Um, she could play classical music like crazy. Did you guys get a chance to see that documentary that they did about her? I think it was last year.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you need to check it out. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, but but see, now people thought that Aretha Franklin made it young, gifted, and black. It came out a bigger hit for her. But the first one who wrote, composed that was Nina Simone, the late great Nina Simone, back in '69.
Exactly. Exactly.
She the one who did it first.
Yep. And her song, what, For Women? Ooh.
Yeah, and
Mm-mm.
see, but you know, Brenda, yeah, and I understand what I'm saying is this that of these women that say they singing for our existence as a people. They know they women. They know they powerful, but they commitment for our rights never waver. Was not apologetic of what they did.
Nope. They love their people.
Yeah.
They were black first before we started throwing that phrase around.
Hmm. Yeah.
Aretha
And it,
Franklin was the same way. Black first.
yes. Yeah. She was. But these women, they know they black and they know they have a duty to do to
Oh,
lift our people. And as I always tell women that, oh, this no, you need to go back and understand. Because to them, it was all about us as a people to mobilize. Because they understand the tricks of the oppression they were laying upon them. You know what I mean? And so I tell some women sometimes that you need to understand. And so queens like you tell them that would resonate more better than the brothers say. You know, because oh, you trying to tell it. You know, okay. Really, you can go and tell him, you know what I'm saying? Okay. You know what I'm saying? Brother Rob, good brother Rob. You can chime in. You go
Yes,
ahead,
sir.
brother. Oh, okay. Go ahead, bro.
Yes, sir. My fault. You was breaking up a little bit, but yeah, I I just want it to be a space where positive artists can be just as popular as secular artists, you know, and it's just a matter of us demanding it as the general public. You know what I'm saying? I think once we start demanding it and looking for it and clicking it in YouTube and on SoundCloud, that's what'll happen. You know what I'm saying? We get more artists like that. You know, we just have to demand it, literally. You know, what you think of that?
You're right. Absolutely.
you know, brothers, one thing that I just, well, I'm glad what, you're doing on YouTube because, and I wish you had a wider audience because our young people, they don't know about these people. They don't know about these great artists that, put their mark on the world. They only know about the latest stuff.
Hmm.
Where, I have to say, in a lot of instances, the artistry is not there. And I wish that if I had the money, I would build a school, and the school would be about teaching our young children about their history and music history. They need to know this.
Mhm.
They don't know, generation, what do they call themselves, X? They don't even know who we're talking about.
Mhm.
And they're missing out on so much.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think the kid. Then then it go worse on that. Brother Rob and Brenda is this that. Not even I find that throughout the years, not even some of us as a people know these people.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're not teaching our history. We're not. We're everything is what's in front of your face on your iPhone right now. Everything is what's on the current news. You've got to know your history. It's so important. And thanks to you, I learned something. About Hazel Scott. I never knew about her, and I
Hmm.
was like, wow. And I went out and I found I downloaded a book about her because I love to read biographies of our Black musicians. I love it.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, Well, I got some more stuff, and also I got my own sports show too. Sister, you can come in sometimes and listen to that. That's every month. I don't know about tomorrow, because tomorrow I might have to take care of something, so I might postpone it. But if it happens every Monday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Now, this past Monday when we have it, we was doing we did something about Byron Scott, and then the week before that we did the first black coach. He
Mhm.
also played in the old NFL. He's one of the first person made All Pro back in the 20s. He also coached too. Frederick Douglass, Fritz Pollard. That was a week before that, but this week just passed. We did it on Monday. We was like, talk about different things, and I said, let's talk about C Stringer. She's our first black coach, first black women's coach. Not highly mentioned. She in her career, she won over 1,000 games. Now, when I talk 1,000 games, that's back like maybe 2006 or something like that. Imagine right now, she like this, and she had started her college coaching career back in '72. She was an assistant coach, and then she went on, and she took four. I want people to understand. I think she took three or four teams to NCAA tournament. Now people say, "Oh, it's easy." It's not easy, especially at that time of women's sports. And she's not being mentioned to help prepare of women's sports, especially in this country.
Mm.
Look
Yep.
it up. See
I have,
Stringer.
yeah, I have to check it out. I'm not that into sports, but I do love hearing about the accomplishments of our people. I
Oh
really.
yeah, but you only have to do this past Monday. It's an archive, so just go to Underrated Sports Show this past Monday. I think I don't know how long it was, but you guys scanned through it. But I did talk about her. We did talk about her and everything. Groundbreaking. They don't
Mm.
get the credit she deserve.
Well, I'm looking at the TV right now. I'm going to have to go in about 10 minutes because I got to get some sleep. It's
Okay.
1:20. It's 1:20 a.m. here, and I got to get up early and go to the plantation. But yeah,
So
I'm
where
just
do you
looking.
live at again?
I live in London.
Oh, you love London, huh?
I do. I do. But I do love New York too.
You ever think about moving back to New York?
Huh?
You ever think about moving back to New York?
I do think about it. I can't afford it at
Oh,
the
right,
moment,
yeah, right. Mhm.
but I do think about it. Yeah, as I was saying, I was just looking at the news here that Lewis Hamilton just won another championship. which makes white folks mad that you got a black man that's killing it in Formula One racing.
Oh wow.
Uh,
I said, oh wow, okay.
yeah, Lewis Hamilton. Yep. Just won his 5th championship.
Poor thing. I know they're gonna turn red.
Well, they can't stand it. They can't stand it because they consider that to be their sport, Formula One, and then you get a black man comes up in there and just embarrasses them every single time. It's kind of like Tiger Woods too, even though he don't want to admit he's black, but he's got that melanin factor. So.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So, matter of fact, I want you to stay right there because I'm getting ready to close this out and everything. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for coming in, and that'd be greatly appreciated, and so again, thanks for the chat. Thanks for my doom shiners, the mods. Help keep this clear. Thank you so much. And after that, Brenda of last remarks, and then after that, Brother Rob.
Well, I just want to say thank you for doing this because I love this. I love this. I could talk about this until the cows come home. So thank you.
Well, in the near future, what I'm going to do, because I do music on a certain time. This tonight, I just feel like, I just want, Rob, he said it was talk about our perspective as a people, and then we talk about music and stuff. But one day in the near future, I hope you'll be coming back. I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna have like women, jazz, women jazz artists or R&B and stuff like that. And I want women to participate. I want brothers to participate too, but I want mostly women on the panel. I really do.
Yeah, but whoever you have on there, it doesn't matter, man, woman. But when you start talking about jazz, that's my heart. And I also love, a lot of my brothers and sisters. I sing. I'm classically trained singer. I don't do it for a living, but I do it out of passion. And I love opera.
Oh, okay.
And we should get a chance to talk about some of our great Black opera singers.
Okay.
Like Leontine Price. Nobody could touch.
Oh yeah, yo, don't get me wrong. Hey, the doctor's got his hands in.
Okay.
Don't think I know. I know something. Like I said, I got my hands in the cookie jar. I got some stash up there. I ain't even touched it.
I know you do. Oh yeah, if we ever talk about Leontine Price, oh my, that's my girl.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna do it like this. When we talk about opera, Black opera, when we talk about Leontine Price, you's gonna be the guest.
Bless you.
Because we definitely gotta talk about opera too, because a lot of us who had make Moss in opera too.
Oh yes. And you know what? They can't touch us there either.
Nah. And a lot of people don't understand too. If you look at Aretha Franklin, some of her songs she sang opera too.
Well, that one song that she filled in for Luciano Pavarotti, Nessun Dorma. That is from the opera Turandot by Puccini, and she filled in for him because he was sick. And she got up there, she tore it up. She tore it up.
Yeah, she sure did. Yeah, she sure did. She sure did. She sure. But thank you so much, sister, Queen, to get up in here and to incite your wisdom with the jazz and everything else you do. You'll greatly appreciate you. You welcome. You in the darkest family now, so you welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Mhm. But I want you to stay right there because I want everybody to close up. Brother Rob, last remarks, please.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'll be learning listening to y'all talk about the history of black opera. I'm not familiar. So I look forward to the conversation, but thanks for having me tonight.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Stay right there too. Family, has been good. You see my food basic, but I put a little twist on it. We talk about jazz, we talk about stuff right here. I really want to talk about what I did with the lies that me and she said sleeping through. Might be maybe throughout the week, never know. Um, but let's be good to each other, like Brother Rob said, let's not talk about this certain perspective all the time. Let's learn how to switch it up, learn to adopt. And let's also more on this point, let's learn how to mobilize as a people. The war is on and we're not winning. So but we gotta chip away. Now, if other people want to do a narrative and we keep on recycling, that's on them. But we gotta keep on switching up, man. Gotta keep on switching up. And that's very important. Because see, when you switch up, that means your perspective it grows. If you keep on saying the same thing, means it's not growing. You in a certain lane and you don't want to bounce out. You gotta learn how to bounce out. Right? Just remember that. On behalf of everybody in the chat and on the panel, um, Queen Brenda Johnson, King King Rob, King Curtis, and Queen Poetic Cows. Thank you very much. On that note, Ghost.